This episode contains mature themes, including concepts of grief, loss, and abandonment. Resources can be found in the episode description.
The weave is broken. Those of might and magic are falling. Factions fly to fill the vacuum of power as the Spellplague brings destruction across the Forgotten Realms. Two heroes meet in the abandoned ruins of the Sword Coast town of Lantan. Women skilled in sword and sorcery, upon whose shoulders rest the fate of the entire Forgotten Realm.
Wait. Is he talking about us?
I sure hope not, because that sounds like a lot of responsibility.
Oh, gods.
Hello and welcome to Best Left Forgotten, the deliberately uncanon and unofficial Forgotten Realms D&D actual play podcast. My name is Nathan Quadrio, and I am your Dungeon Master.
My name is Miriam Feats, and I play Clarrybelle Trollbleeder, the Dwarven Barbarian.
My name is Jess Wolfendow, and I play Flick Gullkind, the Gnome Druid.
In case you'd forgotten, Flick and Clarrybelle were met on the beach of Lantan by Flick's old friend and fellow asterism, Clay Marrowbone. Clay took the girls on a flying wooden raft to meet with the remaining survivors of Flick's people. However, on the way they were attacked by the followers of Baron Moonbubble, a figure from Flick's past that had turned against Saloon and Lantan itself. Arriving at a village in the treetops, Flick was reunited with her parents, Sun and Ray. They pointed Flick towards the Temple of Saloon at the top of one of the island's mountains as the place to find the magic of the Spellplague and stop it from destroying Lantan. But they also warned Flick that Baron would be waiting for them there. Clarrybelle and Clay both accompanied Flick on her journey to the temple, but on their way they were accosted by Baron's followers, and Clarrybelle and Clay were held captive on the path while Flick was taken to see Baron alone. When Flick arrived at the temple, she discovered that Baron was being influenced by the Symphony, and revealed clues of their plans to bring the Spellplague to Neverwinter. The two fought, and became tangled up in the magic of the Symphony. Flick used this magic to reach out to Clarrybelle, who was able to strike a deal and transport to Flick's side. As she arrived, Flick reached out to Baron and attempted to draw the power of the Spellplague out of him, though, in doing so, she took more than she intended, and left his body nothing more than a cold, empty husk. Still needing to save Lantan from the Spellplague's power, Clarrybelle took Mordenkainen's vial while Flick used herself as a channel, allowing the magic of the Spellplague to flow through her and into the vial. While the magic of the Spellplague threatened to be too much for her, Flick was able to persevere, saving both Lantan and her people from the destruction. But at what cost? Let's jump right in. Clarrybelle.
Yeah.
Flick lays on the altar, unconscious as the moon fades. Still within her grasp is the vial of raw Spellplague energy. You immediately notice several changes have come across Flick's body. First, her stone form has faded, leaving the skin of the Flick you knew before. Deep marks hang underneath her eyes, and she looks thinner than you remember. But all of that pales in comparison to the long, purple, whip-like tentacle that now extends from her right wrist and is firmly wrapped around the Spellplague vial.
Just a full tentacle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost simultaneously, Clay appears at the edge of the temple in his cheetah form, and a figure swoops down from atop the flying raft. It's Ray. He rushes to hold the unconscious form of his daughter. Flick! And he grabs her in his arms. What happened? What happened?
The magic was, and Flick took it, and I really don't know most of what happened. I showed up, Flick pulled magic out of Baron, and now he's dead, and then there was magic, the Spellplague magic, and Flick put it in the vial and then fell unconscious.
Clay behind you transforms back into his gnomish form, and Ray is just stroking Flick's face.
Aren't you healers? Can you fix her?
I can try. And he begins to slowly cast some magic over her. Can you make a wisdom saving throw, Flick?
It's a 14.
Okay. Magic crackles across Flick's body, but she remains unconscious. I don't know. Maybe she just. Sometimes the wounds are too deep, and she just needs some rest.
Okay, well, can we take her back to your village?
Yes, yes. And he lifts her onto the raft.
I will also get onto the raft.
Clay turns into a small creature, like a little possum, and climbs onto Ray's back. And you return to Flick's home.
While we're flying in the raft, can I get a closer look at the vial?
Certainly.
I guess I just kind of want to suss out how sturdy Flick's grip on it looks, because we've been told that if it shatters, it's really bad.
Mm-hmm. At the moment you look, and Flick's tentacle is tightly wrapped around the vial. You think that you actually might not even be able to get it out.
Okay.
Because it's so securely being held by some kind of subconscious goal in there.
I think I'm going to sit right next to it and spot it anyway.
Yeah,
just
that's
because, we've been told like this thing shatters and we're all in trouble and the unconscious person is currently holding it.
A short flight and you return to Flick's home, or at least the base thereof at the moment. Once you land, Ray carries Flick inward. I imagine you follow.
Yes, absolutely.
Clay moves off towards the other people who have kind of assembled to watch. He shakes his head, and they move off separately. But you move into the same room that you were in before, where Sun is waiting. She moves forward. Oh, my baby. My baby. And she places her hands on, and she also tries some magic. Can you roll another wisdom saving throw, please, Flick?
18.
The magic once again fails to have any impact upon her. You've been traveling with her. Do you not know anything? Do you not have any potions or magics or something that we can give her? What happened?
She, I think, took the whole Spellplague that was going to destroy your island into her. I don't have any of my own magics. Flick's the magic one. I can try, but...
And I'll walk over to Flick and sort of take her hand.
Flick, I don't know if you can hear us or me. If you can, it would be really great if you could wake up. I need you here, and your parents need you here. And I'm sorry that you ended up having to do this alone.
And that's all I got.
Can you roll a persuasion check with advantage, please?
Come on. That's 2 18s for a 22.
Which is just enough.
For me to be convinced into consciousness.
Your words and your deep connection over much time of travel, but also now a connection beyond, having been communicated through the minds over the symphony. Something passes through, and Flick's eyes shift slightly and open. Flick, you are now conscious.
Flick.
Clarrybelle. Hey.
Hi. Are you okay?
Yeah.
You're not stone anymore. Also, maybe don't look down at your...
Oh, no. That makes her look straight at her hand.
Which hand was it?
The right hand that was holding
Yeah.
the vial.
Also, maybe don't look down at your right hand.
I don't know that you say that in time.
Flick, you look down.
Yep.
Your right hand is no longer there, and instead is a twisting, long purple tentacle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Behind you, you see Sun start and shuffle back in fear.
I give Sun the biggest stink eye that I've ever given anybody in my life. Trying to get across, this is your daughter, get a grip. just straight from the eyes.
Do you want to roll an intimidation check?
Yeah, I can certainly try. 13.
Okay. She remains back and cautious. Can you roll an inside check for me, Clarrybelle?
That's only a 10.
You can see and you can recognize from your own experience
Yeah.
this combination of fear and disgust on her face, almost simultaneously, looking at the tentacle.
Great. Can I move my body between the eye line of Flick and her mother so that Flick does not catch this expression?
Certainly.
Great. And I'll just kind of look at the tentacle and be like, so far it's been a useful addition. It's been holding the vial really well. I think we look at this as a positive thing.
What a wild thing to say. It's been a useful addition to the team. I don't understand.
I just take Flick's other hand.
It's going to be okay. I mean, okay, so think of it this way. Would you rather be still entirely made of stone or just have one tentacle hand
Stone.
that already, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't work.
But did it work?
Oh, yeah, it worked. You're kind of maybe just mind the tentacle because it is holding the Spellplague vial, and if you drop it, Mordenkainen said that really bad things would happen. But it's been doing a really good job. It held it while you were unconscious, and nothing happened.
I'm going to hold it out to Clarrybelle and attempt to release the vial.
All right, I have both hands already holding the bit that I could hold.
Because I don't know if the muscle memory of how to operate a tentacle is in my brain.
Yeah.
But I'm going to attempt to uncurl it.
You uncurl your tentacle, and it seems perfectly natural to you to move this. Something within you just completely accepts this.
And I put I wrap the vial in about 5 different fabrics and then put it into my pack.
I just sort of tuck my right arm sort of across myself and...
Do you want me to crochet you like a little, is it a glove if it doesn't have fingers?
A sock.
A sock. Do you want me to crochet you a sock for your... I know you wore the shawl to cover when you were stoned, so if you wanted a sock...
maybe.
Okay, I'll start working on that. Do you have a color? Wrong time.
Clarrybelle.
I'm trying to get as many bits in as we can before it gets really dark.
It's not dark yet? Really?
From the entrance of this room, you hear Clay's voice.
Oh, no.
I think it's time that you lot were on your way.
I'm sorry. Am I missing something here? Flick saved your island. She did everything right. And I turned to Sun. And you are looking at her like she ain't your daughter anymore.
And I turned to Clay.
And you are telling us to leave? What? This isn't how you treat somebody that you love.
Sun covers her face and doesn't say anything, but Clay steps forward tentatively. It's true that she saved the town. It's true that she saved the island, but we can't have something like that here.
I'm sorry? Something like what?
We've seen things like this before. When the Spellplague first came here and everybody left, some creatures came. Creatures with tentacles like that.
And Flick is not one of them. She is your daughter and your friend and has sacrificed everything.
But we don't know how it starts. We don't know how far it is until she's sneaking up on us and eating our brains and turning us into slaves. We're very thankful for the work that she's done, but we can't put everybody at risk again.
You are. And I mean every word of this. I have faced evils that your tiny little mind could not comprehend, and you are the worst of all of them right now in this moment. And if I ever see you again, Clay Marrowbone, I will kill you.
That's a risk that I'm willing to take.
And I just hold my hand out to Flick.
Mama,
Baby?
are you going to be okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna... And Ray cuts in. I'm not letting her leave by herself. I'm going with you.
I look at Ray so thankful.
People need you.
Well, if these people aren't going to accept you, then... Yes, we've seen those creatures before, but... Flick is an asterism. Flick is the hero of this island, and if you're not willing to accept that, then I suppose I'm no longer a part of the Lantan community.
I just look at Sun.
Is this it? You're gonna lose your whole family because you can't get over a tentacle?
She looks over at Ray, who nods at her, and there's a moment of silence, and she nods back, and together they both walk out, down towards the beach.
I just take Flick's hand and lead her out the room.
Just before we exit, I turn back to Clay. Can you make sure Baron gets a proper burial, please? I won't ask. I'll leave. I won't ask anything else.
He doesn't say anything. He just nods.
And I leave.
You head down to the beach, where your dinghy is waiting.
As we get in the dinghy, I'm gonna make space for Flick to be comforted by her parents first. And if then that isn't what happens, we'll swaddle Flick up with a big hug myself.
Ray is right there by her side.
Yeah.
He sits right next to Flick and kind of places his arm around her supportively. Sun is there, but standing slightly behind, and Ray is putting his other hand on her to kind of connect the Goldkind family together, but there is a certain tension there.
Okay. Then, as we get in the dinghy, I'm just going to be... Do we still have our oar, or did that disappear?
I think we lost the oar.
I think you lost the oar.
Yeah, okay. I'll sit right at the back of the boat and spot and do any... have my maul ready to be, a very rudimentary oar or rudder if we need it, just because the way here was not without danger. So I'll just be the spotter for this journey.
As you sit in the dinghy for a moment, it then pushes itself out into the ocean and moves off northward. I feel like I owe you an explanation, says Ray. Shortly after the asterisms left, we had some visitors. They were these tall, tentacled creatures, humanoid, and we'd never seen them before, but...
Sorry to interrupt. You can keep going in a second. Did they have purple skin and tentacles on their face?
Yes.
Okay,
You've seen...
we met one of those too.
They seem to come out of the Spellplague or something. I always had a theory that they were connected somehow to what Baron was doing, but they just came out of nowhere, it seemed, and there was no way to make that concrete. They just came and they took people. And the stories were that they devoured their brains and left them as nothing but shells.
I mean, they may have had their brains eaten. I haven't heard that one before. But when we met one of them, it sent us to a void, and there was a temple, and it was all rocky and dark, and maybe, I mean, it may not, but maybe the people who they took just went there.
I don't know. But I think that seeing this, and cautiously he places his hand on Flick's tentacled hand, it brought something out in people. And I think that's only natural, kind of saying that towards Sun. But we know that this is not the same thing, and we know that this is Flick, and whether Flick be Flick, or stone, or tentacled, it'll be okay.
Ray Goldkind, you are a good man.
It's not always easy to be.
I'm sorry, everyone.
No,
No.
you don't have anything to apologize for. I'm sorry that I couldn't help with Baron, and I'm sorry that I couldn't help with the Spellplague, and I'm sorry that you got stuck doing everything on your own, which is the one thing that I promised you wouldn't happen. And so if anyone messed up here, Flick, it's me.
Or maybe it's us. I mean, what right do we have to send you out on this mission? It sounds like Clarrybelle has replaced us in a way.
No.
That we were supposed to be your parents and care for you, and instead we've just thrown you out to the wolves on this huge quest to save our island, and you've almost died countless times, it sounds like, and now we've completely changed you more than once. Just what danger have we put you in?
No, it was... I don't regret saving the island. I would do anything for...
Flick, I'm going to ask a question.
Yeah.
And you can tell me to shut up. Who was Baron?
Baron was my best friend growing up. We grew apart at some point, and I never really knew why. He was so different. I just thought it was like Clark or he'd been changed, you know? And that's why he said what he said, and I didn't tell him. I thought it was I thought I was just trying to save him. I didn't tell him I was trying to save him, and now he was a husk. I took his, and what if that means?
Means what?
What if I am becoming one of them?
No. If there's one thing that I know for sure in this world, it's that is not happening. You're just the best person. Flick. End of thought, end of sentence, and just, you are. And I will be standing by your side, reminding you of that as long as you need me to. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about Baron. And I can't imagine, Flick, but you were trying to help.
But what if it had been you? I can't trust myself anymore to help.
Then trust me.
Both of your visions fade for a moment and you become lost and dizzy. Flick, this is somewhat familiar as the last time you left Lantan and headed out, where you travelled an enormous distance but kind of got lost. Clarrybelle, it's new to you, but you both hear a voice echoing in your minds.
The pact must be sealed. Come.
Clarrybelle.
Yeah.
In your mind, you see a vision of Neverwinter.
Yeah.
In front of you, there is a path leading towards the city. The path behind you leads southward to Fandalen, to Baldur's Gate, to Candlekeep. Where do you walk?
Do I feel like I'm alone on this road, or that the Symphony is, in whatever way they are, present?
As you take a moment to kind of ponder this decision and hold yourself in the moment and feel that presence, you realize that you're hearing the voices of the Symphony.
Yeah.
And you realize that you're not just hearing them now, that those voices are always with you at all times.
Okay.
And that you have just learned to
Yeah.
put them in the background. And as you tune yourself into the voices,
Yeah.
you look up above Neverwinter and you see materializing an enormous, hundreds of meters tall, black spire.
Yeah.
The one that you saw deep down in the lair of a green dragon underneath Helm's Hold of Rahini's domain.
Yeah.
Now in your mind floats above Neverwinter,
Yeah.
waiting, watching.
Does it feel of a similar material to that, like, black door temple space that we were in way back in season 1, where we broke the beacon for the Symphony
Yeah, in the void.
in the void?
It does.
Okay.
So that's still there.
If the voices are letting me sit in this moment for a second, I'm gonna reach out to them and say, okay, so the last time, it was a pretty brief vision conversation that we had. You said a lot of things in rapid succession that it was a lot to take in. I remember something about, if I don't do this, it will be my doom. Can I just get clarification on what that means?
You sing in the choir.
I mean, I've debuted.
The pact must be sealed.
Okay, but I'm just saying, can I just know what the consequence is if the pact isn't sealed, other than just my doom?
Death.
Death just to me? Or like death to the world? Death to the people I love? Again, pretty vague.
You blink,
Yeah.
and you are standing in Mordenkainen's mansion.
Okay.
In front of you, 2 eyes and giant toothy maws float
Yep.
next to a gagged and bound Mordenkainen.
Oh.
You blink again, and standing behind Flick are Ray and Sun, and coming out of the shadows are two of the purple tentacled creatures behind them, stepping forward, their long fingers reaching over and sliding down their chests to pull them back away from Flick. And you blink and you are on the path to Neverwinter.
Okay, so yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, I also just one more point of clarification before I make what's probably going to be the biggest decision of my life, and I'm getting married soon. Flick's gonna want to know why we're going to Neverwinter. Is this one of those, can't ever speak to anyone about what's going on? Because we've kind of got a truth thing going. Or am I going to have to lie?
The pact must be sealed. Come.
Okay, so maybe some wiggle room.
You blink again.
Yep.
And you recognize some of the streets of Neverwinter.
Yep.
As Daisy walks through them, looking around, lost, confused. It's almost as if she's drunk and she's stumbling through, kind of dizzy and confused, looking around. She's looking for something and she can't find where she's going. And you blink and you are again on the path to Neverwinter.
Come.
I start walking towards Neverwinter.
Okay. And with that, your vision clarifies.
Yep.
With Flick and Clarrybelle, you are on the boat, but no longer near Lantan. You sit at the mouth of the river of Neverwinter as your boat slowly sails into the port. The sounds and hustle and bustle of docks and markets around you, people calling, larger ships moving cargo. You've traveled hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kilometers in seconds.
Is everyone okay?
What is this?
Welcome to Neverwinter.
What is that? Where is that?
We're in, the north of the Sword Coast.
Oh.
Yeah, this kind of happened last time. Not quite so far, but...
Well, while we're here, we need to find Mordenkainen. There might be a blue door somewhere in the city.
Yeah, if Mordenkainen's key found its way here, then there could be a door nearby.
A lasso swings from the side of the docks and loops onto your boat and begins to drag you in.
Yeah.
And a very strong, tall female member of the Neverwinter Guard stands looking over you as you sit in your little dinghy on the side amongst all these massive ships.
Yep.
I totally forgot that we haven't been here since we, disappeared Sabine and all those people. Oh, no.
What is your business here? A small dinghy is not welcome in these docks. Where is your authorization?
I point to the Lord's Alliance pin on my collar. I am a cloak of the Lord's Alliance, as is my companion Flick. These are her parents, Sun and Ray. We wish to visit Neverwinter. We have been here before. The lore master, Cool Cat,
Yeah.
can vouch for us.
Many things you've said do not make sense to me.
Yeah, that happens.
I am not familiar with any lore master Cool Cat. However, your Lord's Alliance speaks volumes. Come, stand.
Okay.
Okay.
I help my parents out.
Yeah, I will too.
What business do you have? May I take you there?
You haven't seen any blue doors around, have you?
Blue doors.
Just where they shouldn't be.
There are several blue doors throughout the city. I'm not familiar with their specific locations, but I'm sure
How about
that
just
if you ask around...
like a free floating one, not connected to a doorway?
Don't fear.
Okay.
And a 7-foot-tall man or some kind of humanoid creature steps forward. He has very, very pale skin, incredibly broad shoulders, muscular, but almost like a barrel. And you see on his cloak a pin of the Lord's Alliance.
Mm-hmm. I will take them where they need to go.
Thank you very much. I'm Clarrybelle. This is Flick.
Come, young cloaks. And he turns. There's kind of a rumble as he moves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we follow.
And stay close.
He moves very briskly in front of you, not waiting for Flick and
Okay.
your parents'
Yeah,
tiny
so this
feet.
is pretty common throughout the continent, is people just forgetting sort of size.
Sir, we didn't get your name, but our legs aren't as long as yours.
He stops. He turns. And he places his hand on your shoulder, Clarrybelle.
Okay.
And immediately you hear a cacophony of voices explode around you, blending into a symphony. And then his hand lifts. Come with me. I will bring you to the leaders of the Lord Alliance. They wish to speak with you.
Well, that sounds great. Do you mind if we drop by the Rat Hollow for my parents to sort of set up shop there?
It's an inn. We know the guy who owns it. He's cool.
It's a Lord's Alliance Inn now.
He stops, having walked already like 10 meters in front of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
He turns. We can be free of the old ones.
Okay.
And he
Great.
begins to move off again.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I will. It sounds like you've got very, very important business here. I think it'd be a good opportunity for us to have a.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Ray
of
points to
course.
Sun to kind of clarify everything. Well,
Yeah. So is he like leading us to the Rat's Hollow, or is it like?
Are
we
you
should
like
give them
leading us to the
directions?
Rat's Hollow, or are we just leaving Flick's parents here and they're finding their own way?
after some walking, you realize that he is taking you in the general direction of the Rat's Hollow.
Great.
This man.
Good.
Great.
And you walk through the city, and everything seems perfectly normal to you, Clarrybelle.
Yeah.
You glance up at the sky.
Yep.
And you can see, almost as an outline, the obelisk floating there.
Uh-huh.
And you just keep walking along.
Okay.
Moving right along.
Does the city look as busy as normal?
It does, yeah.
Opening my mind up to the voices that apparently have just been with me always.
Mm-hmm.
Can I sense if there are like a lot of people like our god that are sort of puppets or members or other voices in the symphony? Like, does it feel like they've pervaded Neverwinter, or that it's just like the person in front of us?
Okay. You walk along, and as you're walking in nearing the Rat's Hollow, you kind of open your mind and allow the voices to seep in. And you're walking along, and it's just the normal.
Okay.
And then somebody walks past you. And they walk past. Then you hear coming from behind you. And you realize that around you, there are agents of the symphony everywhere.
Yep. Okay.
Bird flies overhead.
We keep going to the Rat's Hollow.
You arrive at the Rat's Hollow.
Yep.
Your Lord's Alliance companion
Yep.
stops maybe 30, 40 feet away from the door
Okay.
and waits for you.
We're just going to head in and make sure that Sun and Ray get a good deal.
Okay.
It's not going to be too awkward for you. Are you okay?
No, it's going to be fine.
Okay, great. We head on in.
Okay.
Stefan?
No, I said put the good plates out. Put the good plates. Oh.
And you see him like reach down under the bar and grab some like a liquid, maybe ale or water, and like slick his hair back and he like straightens up.
This is a good decision.
And he's
Yeah.
been eating, and he pulls a towel and like wipes his mouth.
Yeah.
Miss Clarrybelle, I didn't know that. and Miss Flick. Oh, and this must be your sister, Flick.
Terrible.
These are Flick's parents, Sun and Ray. We need to get them a room.
Anything for you, please. The best rooms. The best room. Okay, thank you. Yes. Would you like a meal?
We don't have time for a meal.
Well, we have meat this week.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's some big steps for the Rat Hollow.
Yeah, no, we might be back a little bit later, but if you just take care of my parents, we'll take care of the bill.
Oh, for you. Look.
And there's one man sitting at the bar, sipping.
We're busy as always, and it's all thanks to you. There is no charge for you. Your
Well-
parents can stay as long as they want.
Thank you so
But
much.
10 days would be pushing your luck.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
that's fine.
it's not going to be that long.
Okay.
I'm gonna we're going to show Sun and Ray up to their room.
Okay.
And I'm going to walk them up the stairs and just take them to any random room.
No problem.
I'm assuming the doors aren't locked. It's the rat hollow.
He kind of tries to walk up behind you.
Yeah.
Are you allowing him to join you?
Yeah.
Oh, so Sunray, this is the Rat's Hollow. It is just one of the finest Lord's Alliance establishments here in Neverwinter. And then here we have the engagement suite and the bridal suite over here. That's it. This is your room.
And he walks you in, and it's like a long, thin corridor that opens up into a triangular room, but it's not an equilateral triangle. Like, it's kind of weirdly lopsided, and the window is on an angle.
As he's with Sun and Ray, I'm just going to pull Flick, if I can, into like another empty room.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try, okay, if I can open my mind to the symphony, Clarrybelle's like, maybe I can just be like, and we're going to close that tap for a minute. So I'm going to attempt that with the power of my brain.
Okay.
I assume I'm making a roll of some kind.
Yes, you're going to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my. You see, okay, here's what happened. I looked at the wrong dice. I looked at this one and went, wow, amazing. And then I looked at that one and went, oh no.
That's a natural one for a total of 2.
Okay.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
You close off the pipe to your communication,
Yep.
and you are now just you
Yeah.
and Flick.
Okay, so
You okay?
no. I was kind of doing a thing, but now your parents are in the city and half the people are members of the symphony. And I kind of thought that maybe I'd just be able to like come in here by myself and you guys would be able to maybe go somewhere else and that this could get done without your parents are in the city and I've just
Okay.
Have you seen the big obelisk in the sky?
No, can't say that I have.
Okay, cool. It's the same one that was in Rahini's dungeon. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also the same thing as kind of like we went into down in the void. And maybe I could get into a lot of trouble for telling you this, but your parents are in the city. And I just, the guilt's kind of, it's really been, the longer we were walking, the more it was
It's okay.
hitting me. I kind of agreed that I'd take the vial to the obelisk and give it to the symphony because they said they were going to kill everyone I cared about.
Okay.
But in my head, your parents weren't here. And maybe you weren't here too. And it was just going to be me that the bad thing happened to. And maybe the world. I was going to solve it in the moment. It's like half the city that's the symphony. And I really didn't think it was that bad. And your parents are here. I can't
got
say that enough.
Yeah. Got that part. And is this something you want to do?
No.
Okay.
No. So did you have like a vision when we left Lantan?
Can't say that I had.
Okay, well, I did. And it was the symphony telling me that, I have to backtrack a little further. I have to backtrack further than that. So when we went to maybe Mount Hope now.
Yes.
And you did the thing with the primordial.
You didn't see me do that.
I didn't see you do that. and you were off looking at something else. And I went to go look at the dwarf that was just hammering on the anvil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had a vision of the symphony and they told me that when we got the vial of the Spellplague, I had to take it to Neverwinter, otherwise my doom would happen. And then when we were in Lantan and you reached out to me through the symphony with our minds, I told them that if they wanted me to complete the deal, I had to get to you because I just had to get to you. And that was like my only card that I had up my sleeve that I could play. But they kind of took that as me definitely saying yes. And then they were like, the pact must be kept or something.
Right.
And I saw a vision of Neverwinter. And then they showed me Mordenkainen dying and your parents being stolen by those purple people with tentacles. And Daisy was in the city. And I got scared.
I'd take your hands in one of my hand.
Okay.
It's going to be okay.
No, it's not. I did a very, very bad thing.
Okay, I was hoping that would help. Okay.
And now I'm making a day that should definitely be about sort of you reconciling all the horrible things that have happened into something about me having done just the worst thing ever.
It's okay. You know, I can multitask. So, okay.
And the guy outside is a member of the symphony, and he's taken us to them.
Okay. Is this like one of those things? Is this like a library thing where we heist it at the last minute? Or is this like I try to run away with it now? Or is this like I chug it and breathe fire at them?
Maybe not you chug it, because you've taken it into yourself.
Done it once.
Yeah, but you almost died. And
Maybe I could get 2 of these babies.
I'll try anything once, twice if I like it.
I don't mind the idea of maybe like combining 1 and 2, like we make a fake vial of Spellplague magic that I take to the symphony while you race the real one to Mordenkainen. Because there must actually be a door somewhere in Neverwinter. You would
really think so. Okay. How do we then extract you?
Oh, I didn't think that far ahead.
Okay.
That's really not this is the I've made decisions that might end the world, and so I kind of have to take responsibility for that.
Been there.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Goldkind. I didn't know you had a problem with incorrect windows. Please, the window is square in this room.
And he opens the door.
Oh,
Hey.
Hi.
I suppose it all makes sense now.
Okay.
No.
And he closes the door.
Yeah, that's, out of the list of problems we've got today, that's fine.
That's quite small. I'm sorry.
No.
I haven't said that part of it yet, and that should have been the first thing.
It's all okay. This guy.
We must go to the Lord's Alliance.
Okay, I don't think we have time for a plan.
Yes.
And the door is ripped off its hinges and thrown to the side.
Whoa. Are you
The
going to pay?
meeting is soon.
Sorry, we've had a busy day. We just needed like 10 minutes. Yeah, okay.
And he turns and he walks away.
I'm so sorry I got you into this.
It's okay. We'll figure it out together like we always do. I
Thank
take
you.
your hand
Yeah.
and I wait. Well, no, I don't wave goodbye to my parents. Not using that hand to do it. I just nod at my father as we leave.
So are you more of a triangle or a circle window kind of person? Because we have both.
Today we are going through the square window.
Or maybe an arch window?
Oh, we have none of those. I'm sorry.
A diamond window. What do you think we're made of money?
And you walk down the stairs and you exit the Rat's Hollow.
Yeah.
What do? The guy is off and walking.
Yeah. Do we think putting poison in it is anything? So that if they like drink it,
Oh, yeah.
it kind of
for sure.
is a bit spicy.
They don't know what a bottle of Spellplague looks like. It's fine. It's spicy. Here's some spicy Spellplague for you.
Clarrybelle, can you roll a wisdom check?
Oh, okay.
What?
Throwing out this dice. It was another natural one for 2.
Okay, not a problem. You know that you are currently still blocked off from the Spellplague, and your conversation, even as you travel,
Okay.
is still private.
I know that.
Yeah, you are 100% confident
Certain. Yeah.
Me
that
too.
you have maintained that hold
Yep.
so you can keep planning as you walk. Mm-hmm. And nobody else will
We'll
hear
hear
it.
it. Yep.
I point at the guy in front of us. I'm like, you want me to?
To what?
Like when you say they're everywhere.
Literally. Like probably that guy. And I just point to a random guy on the street.
You want me to get him too?
How?
As the guy walks past, Clarrybelle, and keeps walking.
Told you.
I feel like I feel left out a little,
Okay, so I have this is my only plan. I have 1 vial of poison in my bag. Maybe you're pretty good at sneaky fingers. If you take the real vial and hide that on your person because they think I've got it. And then when we get to them, I give them the poison vial, and that maybe buys us 10 more seconds to come up with an idea.
Do you have a glove?
Of course.
Okay. Go ahead and pass that to me.
I take off one of the lace gloves I've been wearing this whole time.
Okay, maybe not lace. Maybe literally anything but lace. Maybe not
okay.
the see-through option.
Okay, I put that back on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I pull out one of my winter gloves.
Great. Good. Awesome. I look over Clarrybelle and see where the vial is.
It's wrapped in 5 layers of fabric in my pack, so it didn't break.
Okay.
I might just actually, you know what? I'm just going to pull them out of my bag and be like, oh, I'm so sorry you're feeling cold, Flick, and drape one of them around Flick's shoulders so that Flick has the opportunity to take the vial.
Okay, here's what's happening. I'm using that moment. I put the shawl on.
Yep.
And I'm going to attempt to tuck the glove into the end of my sleeve, but wiggle my tentacle out of the sleeve so it looks like my hand's still at the end of my sleeve.
Yep.
And then with the tentacle, sneakily dip into the bag and grab the vial.
Okay, we're going to start with a
Yeah.
performance check to make a convincing hand performance.
Is this with the help action because I'm using the shawls as a cover?
I will
Or does that
allow
make it disadvantage? Because
No,
I know
I'll
what's
allow
going
it
on?
because it's all happening at the one time.
Oh, that's right. Jess doesn't need it.
That's a 20.
So you are convincingly like sneaky tentacle. Now we need a sleight of hand check. I'm going to make it a disadvantage because it is wrapped in 4 other layers of fabric.
Yeah, okay.
There's really no
Yeah,
point in
there's
me
no
rolling
point
that
rolling
again.
Okay.
That was a Naturo 1.
Okay. Clarrybelle,
Yeah.
a hand is reaching into your pack and reaching for the vial and attempting to take it from you.
Okay.
As you place this shawl around
Yeah.
Flick, you can feel a tug from the rest of the fabric. It's being taken from you.
Part of me is like, this was the plan. I think it's just an instinctive, like, hug the pile of fabrics closer to me very rapidly. It's like a startle instinct, I think, before she has a chance to process that it might be Flick, that it might not be Flick. The initial thing is just the startle instinct of pull everything closer to my person to keep it safer.
Okay. You do so and you turn slightly, I imagine, to kind of move it away. And you see the twisting purple tentacle of Flick behind you left that I imagine how withdraws back.
Yeah.
Withdraws back into my cloak.
Okay, so that was my bad.
It's cool. We'll get there.
As you travel, you realize that you are heading very similar directions to when you were meeting with Sabine that first time. If you remember, on the other side of the wall is an enormous chasm down into the deep.
Yeah.
And that is where this figure is leading you.
Okay.
This is your last opportunity to make some kind of bold play.
I just want you to have the vial, not me.
Okay.
I would
Sure.
just like that a lot. So what I'm going to do, because I think they're not listening to me, but I just don't want the Goliath to see what's happening, I'm going to fully burn a rage
Okay.
in order to bring my ancestral guardians out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to have them rush at the Goliath as a distraction, and I'm just going to fully pick the vial up and put it in Flick's pack.
Sure.
That's my move.
Okay.
Because I figured ghosts.
What do you mean you figure ghosts? Elaborate on that.
I mean, if he doesn't look distracted by the ghosts.
Highs or lows?
Highs. I just hope you're rolling better than me.
It's a nat 20.
The highest.
He has been moving significantly further than the range of your ancestral guardians.
Okay.
However, at this time, as
Yeah.
you near your destination, he is closer.
Okay.
He is within the 15 feet
Yeah.
of your ancestral guardians.
All right.
So they harry him,
Yep.
and as they move around his person, the entire form disappears. And there is no man in front of you anymore.
Excuse me?
And
I'm sorry?
you pass the vial to Flick.
Okay, I really didn't think that was what was going to happen.
Since when can you do that?
I don't know if I did do that. Did I do that? And I'll look at my ancestral guardians for the last 2 seconds that I have them before they disappear.
The goblin just shrugs.
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go.
And in front of you is a staircase leading up to the top of the wall.
I guess we have to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. No.
Yeah, we start walking.
Yeah.
Okay. You climb the staircase and stand on the edge. You look out over the wall and you see an enormous hole in the ground, a chasm that you have seen before, and you have fought alongside the forces of Neverwinter against creatures that have come through. And now perhaps you have allied yourself with those exact forces.
Allied's a strong word.
One of us has.
Around you, you hear voices rising in song. and you feel the world being still around you. And a portal forms, and a tall, purple figure with an enormous brain and long tentacles coming from its mouth steps out. I am the envoy of the Symphony. You have brought the Spellplague to me.
Sure.
And his long, pointed fingers stretch out in front of him, ready to accept the vial.
Oh, we give it to you here, and then you take it somewhere?
He stands with his hand outstretched.
I look to Clarrybelle.
I'm gonna get the vial of poison out of my bag and hold it out. 1 vial of bona fide Spellplague.
He takes it. He removes the cap. And he drinks it slowly
You see, they told me I couldn't do that.
and smashes it on the ground.
Did it do any damage at all? It was a vial of poison.
He stretches out his hand, ready to accept the vial of Spellplague.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the only vial I have on me at this moment.
Worth a shot, and I reveal my tentacle hand. I'm like, samesies. You know, you've been dealing with Clarrybelle this whole time, but your old pal Flick's got a little more in common, don't you think?
That remains to be seen.
Yeah, right. And I hold my hand out, just out of his reach.
Okay. Can you make a dexterity saving throw?
6.
Through the Mind Flayer's telekinesis, it flings out of your hand
That's fine.
and lands.
As soon as it lands in his hand, I cast a spell magic.
Okay.
So looking at the spell, you need to choose a creature, object, or magical effect. What are you dispelling?
You once told me
Yeah,
that the spell plague is just magic.
it is.
In the middle of Neverwinter, I would like to dispel the concentrated vial of spell plague we have.
Okay, so you're going to dispel the vial.
The Spellplague within the vial.
You're going to...
Just to be really specific, because, like, if we dispel the vial and you're like, it's glass and nothing happens.
Yeah.
But it is a magical vial that is holding the spell plague within it. So you could dispel the spell plague within the vial, or you could stop the magic on the vial, which causes the spell plague to leak out everywhere.
One's good, one's possible in my head, you know?
Yeah.
As bad as it is for the city, I'm going to have to go with the one more likely to work.
If you release it...
Hold on.
Hold on.
This is stupid. Hold on. Okay, this is stupid. This is, okay, yeah. Okay, this is stupid.
Okay.
Let's go.
I threw my Ancestral Guardians at a Goliath 2 minutes ago. There's no stupid ideas.
If this works, this is the stupidest thing in the world. Okay. I'm going to attempt to dispel the vial.
Okay. So it is going to be a 17 that you need to roll.
Okay,
That's
12
the
or
DC.
higher on the die.
So I need to roll a
12 or higher.
higher.
Slightly higher than average.
It's a natural 17 for a 22.
Okay. Within the hands of this Mind Flayer, the magic that is holding the spell plague within dissipates, and it begins to leak outwards. What is your next move, Flick Goldkind?
I cast Thunder Wave and try to push it through the portal.
So
It's my classic move.
what do I need to do?
If you could please make a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 12.
That's a fail.
Yes.
So he's going to take 16 points of thunder damage.
Okay.
More importantly, the creature, and I'm hoping the spell plague itself is pushed through the portal, 10 feet away from me.
Okay. You cast Thunderwave, holding in his hand now just a normal glass vial. You see sparks of blue flame and electricity move about his hand. The eyes of a normally calm and centered Mind Flayer grow wide.
Nice.
Your Thunderwave smashes the glass in his hand, and he is blasted back, holding that spell plague mote in his hand. The portal closes. There's a moment of silence. Above you, in the obelisk, flames crackle in the air. All clouds that were just sitting in are sucked up and the form of an enormous black stone obelisk materializes for you, Flick. Clarrybelle, you've been seeing it the whole time.
Oh, that obelisk.
Yeah, that one.
The sky turns dark and then shifts to a dark maroon red. Screams and shrieks come from underneath the chasm as rising up are enormous whale-sized creatures floating through the air, one singular eye, a huge toothy maw. Images that you've been seeing for a long time suddenly turned to flesh as hundreds of these creatures spill out from underneath. You see, standing on a tower in the distance, two figures. One you recognize immediately, the priestess Rohini, arms outstretched, welcoming the symphony, finally bringing forth what she has been waiting for all these years, and standing behind her another figure who you do not recognize, short in stature, pale, stout, slicked, balding hair, greasy, almost like a candle that has melted. And as the shrieks and screams of these creatures are heard throughout Neverwinter, all you can hear is this little man. And that's what we're going to call the session. You've been listening to Best Left Forgotten. You can find and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Best Left Podcast and on our Best Left Forgotten Facebook page, where we post updates, info, and additional content. Music by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. Full song lists and additional artists can be found in the episode description. Cover art by Cattywampus, who can be found on Fiverr. Thanks to Jess Wolfendale, our editor, Miriam Feats, our social media manager, and Nathan Quadrio, our GM and producer. If you enjoyed our podcast today, please leave a review and tell your friends.